Okay, if you're a sales leader, maybe a VP of Rev, even a CEO trying to hit next quarter's targets, let me ask you something pretty direct.
Go for it.
If you look at your whole sales team, what's the one thing that really separates your absolute top performers, the closers, from, well, everyone else?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Uh,
And it's usually not just product knowledge, is it? Or even pure charisma.
exactly. It's something else.
And actually, if you look at the research, especially what the sales experts have compiled, it really boils down to one specific thing: confidence.
Confidence in what, though?
Confidence talking about money, that moment, when the price, the terms, the actual dollars and cents come up, that's where so many salespeople just freeze.
Yeah. And that hesitation, that's where deals stall, pipelines leak.
Precisely.
So that's exactly what we're going to really dive into today. Our mission here is to unpack what the sales experts call sales secret #7.
It's all about mastering that financial conversation.
Right.
How critical it is for real sales success.
Yeah, and we want to get beyond just the mindset shift, important as that is, and into the actual tactics, the things leaders need to implement, like now.
Okay, so let's start with the big psychological block. Why is asking for the money so awkward for so many?
Good question. What does the analysis show?
It shows that way too many salespeople think asking for payment is going to somehow taint the relationship they've built.
Right, they worry it'll make things uncomfortable, especially after they built up all this trust.
Exactly. So they shy away from it. They kind of tiptoe around it.
And you can understand that fear, can't you? You
hmm
spend weeks, maybe months, building rapport, showing value, crafting this perfect solution,
hmm
and then bringing up the price feels like, I don't know, taking a sledgehammer to all that good work. It feels risky. It feels risky, but here's the critical reframing from the source material. Money is not the enemy of trust.
Okay. So avoiding the money conversation, that's what actually harms trust.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you're truly confident in the value you're delivering,
Right.
then talking about the payment needed to get that value, that's just the next logical step. It's part of the partnership.
So for sales leaders listening, this is a huge mindset shift you need to drive home. No more thinking that talking payment is some unpleasant add-on or something you need to apologize for. Absolutely not. Training has got to hammer this home. Discussing payment is the final step in delivering the value. It completes the transaction. It validates the whole thing. If you deliver the solution, you confidently talk about the exchange.
And once a salesperson really internalizes that, that money is just the mechanism for the amazing value they've proven. Then that fear starts to fade.
They shift from trying to, convince the client.
To simply committing them. It's a different energy entirely.
Okay, so psychology nailed. Let's talk mechanics. How do we figure out why a deal is really stalling? Because, often the client pushes back on terms and the salesperson immediately thinks, oh no, I didn't sell the value well enough.
Right, the self-blame kicks in.
Right.
But the source offers a much cleaner way to diagnose this, a really simple principle, actually.
Which is?
If a client is genuinely pushing back hard on the financial terms, it's almost never just about the terms. It usually means one of two things.
Okay.
Either A, they truly cannot afford the deal as it's currently scoped, like
Yeah.
budget genuinely isn't there, or B,
They're just not fully sold.
exactly, they're
Right.
not fully convinced the value stacks up against the investment required.
And those are two totally different problems, aren't they?
Completely. One needs a potential rescoping or creative financing chat. The other means you need to go back to the ROI, back to the pain point you're solving.
Without just offering a discount.
Right, because if the value proposition is clear and compelling, that's where the confidence piece comes back in. No need to hesitate or apologize.
You just move into the close. The source talks about the assumptive close.
Yes, assume the sale.
It sounds simple, maybe even a bit bold. How does that actually play out in a conversation? Say you're selling a complex, maybe six-figure software deal.
It's less about being pushy and more about shifting the conversation to logistics. It's assuming the decision is made and focusing on what's next.
So instead of asking, so are you ready to sign? Which just invites a maybe or no.
You say something like, okay, great, so based on the value and the outcomes we've mapped out, looks like we can kick off implementation around October 1st. That work for you.
Okay, assuming they agree.
Then you follow immediately with, good, I'll send over the service agreement now. It outlines that initial onboarding fee and the 30-day billing terms we discussed. Who in your finance team is the best person to route the final signed documents to?
Ah, I see. So you're not asking if they'll buy. You're discussing how the payment works and when the project starts.
Exactly. Assume the sale's happening. Assume they see the value. And assume payment is just the natural next step. That confidence is powerful. It pulls people along.
Okay, and that focus on terms right away ties into the second big insight, doesn't it? Which is about integrating the numbers much, much earlier.
Yes, absolutely critical. This tackles that huge issue of late payments and those really awkward collection calls later on.
Because too many teams let the payment details just sort of dangle until after the ink is dry on the contract.
hmm It feels like the deal is closed, but the money part isn't actually settled. You've created ambiguity.
Right.
And the source uses a fantastic analogy here at the local dry cleaner.
Okay.
Think about it. Why do they always have that rack of forgotten clothes in the back? Clothes people never picked up.
Because they cleaned the suit, delivered the service, but didn't collect the payment up front, so the person just forgets or doesn't prioritize coming back.
Precisely. If the cleaner had said, okay, your suit will be ready Friday, that'll be 18 euros, please, paid now,
Well,
the exchange is complete. Suit gets picked up.
no ambiguity, no friction later.
Exactly. When you separate delivering the value from collecting the payment, you invite problems, delays, defaults, forgotten invoices.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate. In a complex B2B sale, talking specific numbers too early, couldn't that scare someone off? Especially if they're still evaluating. Leaders worry about sticker shock before the value sinks in.
That's a valid concern. But the answer isn't hiding the numbers. It's integrating them naturally. It's talking the language of business results from the start.
So, less about a price list on call one.
Yeah, definitely not that. It's about training teams to confidently talk ROI, talk potential billing terms, talk value exchange alongside the solution discussion. Frame the financials within the business case.
So it becomes part of the ROI discussion itself. Look, if we achieve this $50 case saving for you, our fee is $20, and here's how that payment structure works to enable those savings.
Exactly. It makes the whole thing feel more professional, more like a partnership. The financial part is just a logistical requirement for achieving the transformation they want. No surprises later.
That makes a lot of sense for closing deals cleanly. But what happens when, even with all that prep, the payment is late? That takes us to the third insight, right? Handling that financial follow-up without wrecking the relationship.
Yes, and this is where maintaining trust gets really tested. A huge mistake is immediately handing off a late payment to some anonymous collections department.
That cold email or call? Yeah, that can undo months of relationship building in an instant.
Totally undermines it.
Okay, I get the relationship angle, but honestly, if I'm a busy VP of sales or even a top salesperson, my time is valuable. Why should I be chasing invoices instead of, the accounts receivable team? Isn't that what they're there for?
It's a fair question about efficiency versus relationship. But think about the long game. Client retention cost versus acquisition cost. The author of the source material, dealing with huge deals, actually made it a habit to personally call the client's accounts department first.
Not the main contact, but accounts payable. Why?
To act as a warm bridge. Not to demand payment like a collector, but to ensure the relationship stays intact.
So what does that call sound like?
It's friendly, low-key. Something like, hey, AP contact name, just checking in. I noticed the invoice for the recent implementation phase hasn't quite cleared yet. Just wanted to make sure there wasn't any technical hitch or paperwork issue on your end holding things up. We want to ensure everything's smooth for the next phase.
Ah, clever. It reframes it as a potential process issue you can solve together, not a you owe us money confrontation. It keeps the focus on partnership and moving forward.
Exactly. It maintains consistency. The same trusted voice, the salesperson who built the relationship, is handling this sensitive point. It just reinforces that core idea. The stronger the relationship, the more natural even these conversations become. You're basically protecting future revenue by preventing the relationship from getting damaged by a blunt collections process.
Precisely. You invested months building that trust. Don't let a different department tear it down over a single invoice. Okay, that's a really actionable takeaway for managers. Mandate that personal touch on the initial follow-up, at least. Your top people are the relationship guardians.
They have to be.
So, wrapping this all up, for you sales leaders listening right now, what's the bottom line? It sounds like training needs a fundamental shift. Change the story around asking for money.
Make it a sign of confidence in your own value. Okay, let's recap those 3 key takeaways from the sales experts we hit today. First,
Frame money talk as the final logical step in delivering value. It's not a threat to the relationship. Avoiding it is. Get over that psychological hurdle.
use that assumptive close. And, crucially, integrate payment terms naturally and early in the conversation. Don't wait until the end. Avoid the dry cleaner problem.
Got it. And third?
Personalize the financial follow-up, especially the first one. Don't let an impersonal collections process damage the trust your salesperson works so hard to build. Keep that connection strong. And I think this final piece of advice from the source really sums up the level of confidence required. It's like a mantra your team needs before they walk into that closing meeting. Don't wait, don't whisper, don't apologize.
Yeah.
Just ask and close the deal.
Powerful stuff. That confidence really is the differentiator.
It truly is. And look, if you want to dive deeper into finding, training, and keeping those kinds of high-performing salespeople, the ones who just get this and consistently deliver results,
Where should they go?
check out the additional strategies and resources available over at thesalesexperts.com.
Excellent. Go close those deals with confidence, everyone. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.